भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। ओम सदाशिव समारंभां शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वंदे गुरु परंपरां। समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। ओम श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। Hari Om. So welcome to the 65th episode of Vision of Vedanta every Sunday. This Dakshinamurti Stotram, a hymn to Sri Dakshinamurti by Bhagwan Sri Adi Sankaracharya. We are looking into a commentary by Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmaya. So this usually a poem. It can have 8 stanzas. It's called an Ashtakam. But here, in this Dakshinamurti Stotram, there is a 9th and the 10th verse also. And it is not enough for people if you just praise someone and leave it. Okay, what to do about Sri Dakshinamurti? What is it? What is the connection to me in my life? In what way, if I pray to Dakshinamurti, if I worship Dakshinamurti, and if I do what? Like him, I will also become like him, like that Ishvara, like that Bhagavan, and remain in a state of self-realization. So that thought takes us to the 9th verse. The mind of the seeker, says Gurudev, it lacks the power of concentration and it is very poor in that power of concentration. Without concentration, we will not be able to achieve anything. Even in our ordinary life, whatever we want to achieve, we have to focus on that. And when we do practices, when we do abhyasa, when we repeatedly take a thought and work upon that thought in our life, then it strengthens the power of attention, power of concentration within us, that any thought, any situation, any object becomes very easy to understand and realize. So there are some points of contemplation here and altars of devotion. You have a nice altar with Bhagavan Sri Krishna and a lamp burning there and incense sticks burning there. When you come into the room and see that altar, when you experience the incense, when you see the lamp, the brightness of the lamp, the mind automatically becomes calm. It goes into meditation. The mind attains vairagya. Vairagya means withdrawal from everything that is not required and focusing that is required. So the mind naturally does that. And so in this Ishvara Upasana, in this worship of Sri Dakshinamurti as a presence in front of us, in the form of an image, in the form of an idol, in the form of a thought, in the form of even a photograph or a picture, or in the form of a statue, when we sit and worship, the presence of the deity gives us the knowledge of how to concentrate the mind and how to worship. And that is what Bhagwan Sri Adi Sankaracharya is telling in this verse. Bhurambhasya nalo nilombara ahaha nato ahar nato himanshu puman ityabhati characharatma Charanatmakam idam yasyaiva murtyashtakam nanyat kinchana vimrushat nanyat kinchana vidyate vimrushatam yasmat parasmat vibho tasmai shri gurumurtaye namayidam shri dakshina murtaye. Is Shri Dakshinamurti a hidden image that we cannot see? Is he not visible to our eyes? Can we not see him like we can see everybody else around us and all things around us? Can we not see the Dakshinamurti? Yes, of course you can see him because he appears in 8 different forms. Bhu, he appears as this earth. Dakshinamurti is this earth. Ambhasi, Dakshinamurti is water. The fire of the lamp, the fire of the sun. Who is that? That is Bhagavan Shri Dakshinamurti. Analaha, Anilaha, air. The movement of air that we feel when yesterday there was a very beautiful rain night with a lot of thunder clouds. So that the movement of the air is Sri Dakshinamurti. That consciousness in the form of Sri Dakshinamurti is present in front of us. Ambaram, space. Space is enlivened by that consciousness, which is Sri Dakshinamurti. Without that consciousness, we cannot see space, and without that consciousness within, we will not have the ability or the capacity to experience space. We will not have that energy, that power. That power is Dakshinamurti, which enlivens the space around us, enriches the space around us. Aharnathaha, the Lord of the day. Ahaha means day. The Lord of the day is the sun. The sun is a witness of the day. In the same way, consciousness is that which makes us experience the sun, which is Sri Dakshinamurti, enlivened and empowered by Sri Dakshinamurti. Himamshuhu, that which gives cool rays at night, which is the moon. Himamshuhu, the moon is Sri Dakshinamurti. So here we don't need to wait for an auspicious time to remember Sri Dakshinamurti. We don't need to sit in one place, create an altar, sit in one room. We are standing on the earth. We are standing on Sri Dakshinamurti. That consciousness. We are looking at the waters in the ocean. And that water, not only the water in the ocean, the water that we drink is Sri Dakshinamurti, which is consciousness. Analaha, the fire that gives us heat, the fire that gives us power, the fire that empowers everything to move, all the engines to start, all the vehicles to move, all the food to digest within us, and all the heated debates and conversations where this fire is present. That fire is a fire of consciousness, which is Sri Dakshinamurti. Anilaha, that air which moves about, that air which gives us energy, which gives us life, is Sri Dakshinamurti. Ambaram, the sky which gives us the power of movement, the sky which gives us the space to stay, is Sri Dakshinamurti. Aharnathaha, the sun. Himamshuhu, the moon. Puman, Jiva, the individual, you and I are nothing but that consciousness, which is Sri Dakshinamurti. So even when everything else is not there, and when you are alone, you can meditate upon yourself as the presence of Sri Dakshinamurti within. Iti abhati. This Bhagavan Sri Dakshinamurti shines everywhere. Where does he shine? Chara, achara, atmakam. Chara, in whatever that moves and whatever that does not move, this consciousness, this light of awareness, this light of knowledge, This thought form is which reveals itself is nothing other than Sri Dakshinamurti, that consciousness. Idam yasya eva murti ashtakam. These are all the 8 forms of Bhagavan Sri Dakshinamurti. Sri Ramana Maharishi in the Upadesha Saram talks about one way of prayer, one way of meditation is to Ashtamurti Bhir Deva Pujanam. What is bhakti? What is devotion? Worshipping the 8 forms of Deva or God. Dyotanat iti Devaha. The one who is shining is a Deva, and this God is shining in 8 forms. Ashtamurti means the 5 elements, the sun, moon, and the Ahankara, the individual, the ego, are the 8 forms of Sri Dakshinamurti, which we can use for our upasana. Upasana is, it helps us to attain Savikalpa Samapatti or Samadhi. Savikalpa means with a thought. I have a thought in front of me. I have either the thought of a form made of earth, or I have the thought of earth itself. I have a thought of a form made of water, or I have water. I have the thought of fire, or the whole cosmic fire, the heat itself. I have a thought of air, a form made of air representing air like Sri Hanumanji, or the cosmic air which is his father, Vayu Bhagavan, or space, the space in the form of Nataraja of Chidambaram, or the space everywhere, a notionless presence of space everywhere around us. So everything, when we think about it and meditate, the mind attains to a state of concentration. Everything in Sanatana Dharma is a method or a means to quieten the mind, to achieve a state of concentration, to uplift the mind from its dull state of Muda Sthiti to a Kshipta state of always doing some work or the other, to a Vikshipta state of focusing on one thing and trying to grow that thought or that idea or that concept or the hobby or the building, whatever it is that we are doing. It can be a sport, it can be music, it can be painting, drawing, it can be studying, focusing on one thing and trying to grow trying to increase the power of the mind is Vikshipta. And then the mind becomes one pointed, one concentrated in meditation, that is Ekagra, and then it attains a state of Samadhi where the mind does not move at all. It becomes very still. So that is the result of all the meditations that we do. That is the result of all the studying that we do of Sri Dakshinamurti Stotram and the contemplation. Murti Ashtakam na anyat. There is nothing else other than these 8 forms of the Lord of the universe, Sri Dakshinamurti. Kinchana vidyate. There is nothing else that ever exists. Vimrishatam. For those people who contemplate thus, Yasmat Parasmat Vibhoho. Yasmat, from which the supreme cause, the one of all manifestations, that one consciousness from which all names and forms are created in this universe, to that Dakshinamurti, my prostration. When we prostrate before someone, when we prostrate before something, we are surrendering our power, we are surrendering our energy towards that name, that form, and that quality. And because of that surrendering, when you empty the cup is filled with something that flows from the higher. When you prostrate to something that is more powerful than you, that is more higher than you, that is more benedictory than you. And you receive that benediction, you receive that grace in your life, you are filled with that light of consciousness, You're filled with that light of awareness. Here, instead of giving awareness to ourselves, which we are not capable of, because we do not have the knowledge of who I am really, who we are really. So we place that awareness in the form of some great deity who has lived that life in this world and who has progressed and become such a great deity. To that Dakshinamurti, I surrender, I salute, I pay my obeisance, so that I will be able to concentrate my mind, I will be able to uplift myself, and I will be able to grow spiritually in the path of consciousness, in the path of understanding who I truly am. With this, we will look into the 10th verse and we will complete Sri Dakshinamurti Stotram next week. And from tomorrow, for the next 10 days in 2 weeks, Monday to Friday, next week, we will take up some text from the Vedanta Shravana Sadhana Yajna series for the month of June. Om Sarvesham Swastir Sarvesham Shantir Sarvesham Purnam Sarvesham Mangalam Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kasyat Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Om Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya, Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Boliye Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Har Namah Parvati Pataye. Har Har Mahadeva. Hari Om.